Later, Ellen, see you never. Good luck with that UK weather. You say that Trump's what since you're packing. We know it's cause your career be lacking. Enjoy your cricket, tea and biscuit. Fuel up and fade out, you stupid dick. Read all about the latest issue. This just in, nobody will miss you.
MC Gene, our Arkansas Eminem.
What happens when Greg Gutfeld and Megyn Kelly zero in on Ellen DeGeneres? Spoiler alert, kindness doesn't stand a chance. Hollywood's beloved dancing talk show host just stumbled over some harsh realities, and Gutfeld and Kelly came armed. With evidence, from phony grins to real turmoil, this exposed tears down the curtain around the so-called Queen of Niceland. It's not a pretty picture. Think you know, Ellen. Think again. This is the plot twist nobody expected except maybe her staff.
Article after article of people being like, Ellen is a nasty person. And all these staffers started to come out, not for nothing, but I know a guy, I know him very well, whose sister worked for her, who said, you were not allowed to make eye contact with Ellen in the halls of that show.
It was all sunshine, sneakers, and upbeat dance breaks alone DeGeneres. Daytime television's reigning monarch of midday laughter once glided across screens like a mix of fairy godmother and walking motivational poster. Her signature, kindness, her method, a cocktail of cringeworthy celebrity interviews wedged between product plugs and audience giveaways.
Ellen DeGeneres feeling the heat as more employees, past and present, from her show say that they were working in a toxic environment. Some Hollywood actors also speaking out against the talk show host now. Let's bring in Carly Shimkus of Fox News Headlines 24/7. Carly, good morning. Great to see you. So what more are we hearing on this story?
Yeah, so things are really spiraling here, and it's sort of two situations unfolding at once. One of them has to do with a mountain of complaints against the show's executive producers. Some 47 past and current employees have complained to BuzzFeed News. Allegations ranging from a toxic work environment, bullying, now even harassment.
But behind that velvet curtain of forced chuckles and rehearsed cheer, something darker was simmering. Something far from Disney, much closer to dystopia. This wasn't a slow burn of discomfort, it was a pressure cooker of workplace strangeness, set on high and ignored for years. The grins, flawless but vacant. The applause prompted and practiced. The whole production operated with the precision of a military parade and the charm of a Monday at the DMV.
On camera, she laughed while she badgered her staff. And so all good things must end. And also the Ellen DeGeneres show. Yes, the 83-year-old entertainer just announced that the upcoming 19th season of her show will be its last. Apparently, she created a workplace more toxic than an Amazon warehouse in Chernobyl. Countless allegations surfaced last summer that the show's work environment was rife with harassment and discrimination. Following those charges, Ellen's ratings dropped faster than Kevin Spacey's pants at a boy band pool party. Try to say that fast.
It was a performance, 1 part tap dance, 2 parts televised therapy session, meticulously crafted to maintain an illusion of comfort while running on fumes of control. What viewers saw was candy-coated laughter. What they didn't see, a backstage atmosphere tighter than a toddler's bedtime routine where spontaneity was outlawed and genuine. Human connection came with a manual.
This is not a nice person. So she eventually got canceled, but now she's coming back. She's got a Netflix special. That's the right response.
Yeah.
She's got a Netflix special. And here's the capper. On the promo, and apparently there's now articles out about from people who have seen the preview. She plays the victim. And she says, poor me. And she actually has the nerve to say that she was run out of Hollywood.
Every segment, every smile, every emotional giveaway, carefully engineered. Not for generosity, but for branding. The pastel set, an illusion. The crew, interchangeable parts in a kindness-branded machine. It was the industry's most convincing, Mirage feel-good factory, where the only ones feeling good were wealthy, famous, or wearing a mic. And then, like glitter on a crumbling Jenga tower, it all came crashing down. After years of strain, the spell broke. Enter Megyn Kelly with a mop or a media-trained apology. but with heels and a smirk sharp enough to cut through decades of scripted joy. She didn't tiptoe through the rubble-shay, marched straight into the scandal's eye. Armed with facts, decades of media savvy, and a seasoned instinct for BS. She wasn't there to soften the blow, she came to expose the rot and peel back every crack in the illusion. She didn't whisper, she detonated. To Megyn, Ellen wasn't a TV figure with a bad munch, she was the human. Embodiment of Hollywood's moral decay, a pastel-wrapped distraction hiding showbiz contradictions.
Ellen got canceled for real a few years ago from just being a jerk.
Yeah.
Like, it wasn't like a single comment she said or something she did, just lots of people saying that working for her was a living nightmare and that she's a jerk. And I think that's probably why she wants to leave, because she hasn't really been able to make a comeback.
Yeah.
I mean, remember how everybody loved Ellen? They're like, Ellen, we love you, Ellen's here, yay. And then that all went away. So she probably has been thinking of a reason to leave, and now she thinks that this is the reason to try to make it look like some sort of, look how afraid I am, I feel how you feel because I'm, you know, of Trump.
Yeah, it was just the excuse. She is, Emily, I watched her comedy special. It was like a huge pity party. It was about how she was lamenting how her reputation has suffered. She's essentially as popular as a pit bull with monkeypox.
Ellen stood for the polished mass production of virtue. She didn't just play nice. She manufactured it, slapped a label on it, and sold it as daytime doctrine. Beneath the pirouettes and product giveaways lived a system so synthetic it made plastic look organic. Her success built less on talent than obedience. Obedience from staff, from media, from viewers conditioned to applaud on cue. It wasn't a workplace. It was a trust exercise built on silence. Those quirky rules weren't rumors, they were policy. No eye contact, basically enforced. Yet the press, the supposed truth seekers acted like extras in her studio sitcom. Megyn didn't need secret memos or whistleblower leaks. The dysfunction was obvious. Former staff didn't talk, they vented, and still, the media hit snooze. Ellen's daytime image was too valuable. So instead of exposure, we got cupcakes and celebrity giggles.
She's putting this on Trump. Do you think that she's going to be, just everybody's going to love her in England?
Especially the jihadis who love the lesbians so much. They're going to love her there. I think she's fleeing for way more than her anger over Trump.
If Trump is truly responsible for Ellen's exodus, shouldn't that go down as his greatest achievement in the last 8? I mean, he should get the Nobel Prize.
He's literally going to have a who's who of left. I mean, the entire 80s music catalog is gone. You got Springsteen, Cher, Madonna. I just don't know why they keep showing pictures of Aaron Rodgers with blonde hair.
What Megyn saw wasn't just tolerated hypocrisy, was celebrated, syndicated, and sold back to us. Ellen wasn't just protected, she was essential to the system. Her existence let Hollywood pretend things were still playful, still pure. But behind the sequence, control not compassion. When the cracks finally appeared, the only surprise was how long it took, Megyn no stranger, to how the media sausage gets Madianked back the curtain with ease. She broke down the timeline. The carefully scripted rise, the half-hearted apologies, the post-scandal ratings crash like a soap opera penned by karma. While viewers clapped for Elon's dance breaks, Megyn heard the whispers, the ex-staffers recounting control, fear. Silence while the media polished that halo with high-gloss spin. Kindness, it seemed, was a product. And in Hollywood, products are bulletproof until they aren't. Megyn didn't just point fingers, she ran a full forensic audit. How could someone so wholesome be so protected from consequences? Why were warnings dismissed until Twitter turned up the volume? Her favorite hypocrisy, the media double standard.
Question for you on this. This is perfect for you. Because I'm seeing this week that there is an attempted comeback by somebody who did not cross one of those fateful lines of the misstepping on their sacred cows of gender or race or sexuality.
Yeah.
But she was said to be a nasty biatch, and that's Ellen DeGeneres.
Yeah.
So her show got canceled after she had this testy exchange with Dakota Johnson, where something happened where Dakota said, oh, I had this birthday party. And Ellen said, well, why didn't you invite me? You didn't invite me. And she said, like, no, I did invite you, Ellen. That's not what happened. And Ellen had blown her off and then tried to play the victim on the set.
When a conservative so much as sneezes off script, the press descends like pigeons on popcorn. But Ellen, she got spa treatment fluffy articles, a redemption arc, and suddenly she's the misunderstood heroine. Megyn wasn't buying it. She made sure no one else did either. Just as Ellen's shield began to fray, in stormed Greg Gutfeld, America's snarkiest wrecking ball. Where Megyn wielded a scalpel, Gutfeld arrived with a jackhammer and a wicked grin. His first move, rip off Ellen's sainthood sticker and replace it with "Sponsored by Hollywood" delusion. Gutfeld wasn't fooled by glitter. To him, Ellen wasn't a fallen icon. She was the latest woke mascot to slip on her own pedestal. He opened, as always, with sharp-edged humor. Ellen's apology tour. Gutfeld didn't just call it performative, he gave it an Oscar. Her most awkward sketch, yet delivered not with remorse, but under studio lights and PR scripting. His loudest laugh, the notion that Ellen was shocked by the workplace she ruled. Please, as if she stumbled into toxicity by accident. Gutfeld's point, Hollywood sells redemption arcs like candy butt. When the hero controls the script, it's not growth. It's a yoga stretch for their image.
They must stay in the hell of Trump. We're out of here. By the way, Walter.
I think we could let the illegal aliens stay if we get enough of Hollywood to self-deport.
Yes. I will take 1,000.
You know, exactly.
I'll take 1,000 Venezuelan migrants for one share.
Exactly. If you can get one Hollywood star to leave, you get to stay. Otherwise, it's out.
You know what, though? It's funny. I just want to bring this up to you. You can comment or not.
Yeah.
So she left a celebrity base to go to London, and she's already ensconced with other celebrities. So she's basically still in the same bubble.
She's not going back to London. She's going to Oxfordshire. And as the only person on this set who attended Oxford University.
No, way to drop that in.
It's true. I can tell you that there is nothing high British Oxford society loves more than a failed and despised American talk show host.
Not just tacky totally opt brand. You can't preach humility through a Gucci megaphone. Gutfeld dismantled her relatable act. Ellen wasn't your friend. She was your fantasy, packaged and broadcast 5 days a week. And he didn't stop there. He turned the spotlight on the entire structure that let her Thrive fans trained to clap like seals, staff treated as props, and a media drunk on charm. Gutfeld didn't just take down Ellen, smashed the whole illusion factory. She danced. Out of those apology optics, the millionaire host, tearfully growing on air, in designer sneakers. Gutfeld practically howled, growing at 60. In what direction toward the exit? Her "I'm still learning" bit? He shredded it like the script of a failed Netflix pilot. Let's be honest, if you've been rich and famous for decades, the only thing you're still... Ellen didn't fall. She tripped on her own mythology and landed on a pile of unpaid interns.
Show, home of Matt Lauer, that the bad press actually had nothing to do with her decision. Right, and the Titanic didn't hit an iceberg. It chose to sink.
If it was why I was quitting, I would have not come back this year. I really did think about not coming back because it did, you know, I mean, it was devastating. I am a kind person. I am a person who likes to make people happy.
No, the real reason, she says, is it was just too easy. Telling the Hollywood Reporter, quote, "When you're a creative person, you constantly need to be challenged. And as great as this show is, and as fun as it is, it's just not a challenge anymore." Well, if that's true, here's an idea. When your viewership is down 43%, why not consider that the challenge?
Meanwhile, Megyn zoomed in on the fallout brand erosion, sponsors ghosting, fan loyalty evaporating faster than a political promise. Ratings nosedived. But Megyn wasn't shocked. She saw the crash coming from a mile away. What fascinated her wasn't the scandal, it was the silence before it. Years of fluff interviews, softballs, and media compliance. Ellen didn't just fool the publics, she conditioned them. Kindness became a costume, and when she slipped, the costume flipped inside, out revealing something far less magical. Megyn emphasized the cultural shift. Ellen's fall wasn't just a celebrity, Gutfeld was a reflection. Viewers were over the fakeness, the synthetic morals. They craved authenticity and, ironically, Ellen's was the most artificial act on TV. Megyn exposed the echo chamber lawn, praised by friends, interviewed by protégés, defended by loyalists. It was a self-contained snow globe, pretty from the outside, pure fiction inside. And just as the cracks widened, Gutfeld came in with one final roast.
DeGeneres bails for the UK. All right, I'm going to go to you first, Kat, because this is such a, I think you understand this story. So Ellen and her wife, Portia, have left their millionaire haven of Montecito for England. Now, they're saying they'll never come back in the wake of Trump's win. Do you think that's the reason why she's leaving?
Absolutely.
He zoomed out and reframed the entire narrative. Ellen wasn't just a host. She was a metaphor, a polished mascot for an industry that sells fake goodness and punishes real truth. Gutfeld likened her show to a sitcom that forgot it wasn't real. Every laugh timed, every walk on cue, every entrance a rehearsed impersonation of a person long gone. The finishing blow, Gutfeld's signature roast. Ellen didn't host a talk show, she built a moral amusement park, and when it collapsed, all that remained were echoes of pre-recorded applause and the scent of stale vegan snacks. Together, Megyn and Greg didn't just expose Ellen, they disassembled the myth, not with anger, but with precision and satire sharp enough to pierce the Hollywood facade. There was no soft piano music, no redemptive arc, no tearful close-up. This wasn't daytime TV, it was truth, dragged into daylight. Ellen, for all her smiles, became a cautionary tale for celebrities, and for anyone confusing fame with character. She wasn't canceled, she was unveiled. And once the illusion shattered, even her sneakers couldn't outrun the truth. Megyn exposed the structure. Greg lit the stage on fire, and America watched not with gasps, but with that slow, knowing nod people give when the mask finally slips and they say, ah, there it is. This wasn't Elon's show anymore. This was the finale written by Karma, produced by reality. And Ellen didn't just lose her throne, she danced herself right off the stage.